Hey guys, in this episode we trek further north to Elsey and Litchfield National Parks. There is so much to see between these two amazing locations. We drove north to Elsey National Park. We camped at the Joel campground. We checked out Mataranka Thermal Pool and Bitter Springs. It was quite busy, so we went back during non-peak hours. We threw a line in at the Roper River and completed the 8-kilometre return walk to Mataranka Falls. In 1967, the Northern Territory decided to manage and protect the conservation and tourism values of the unique cave formations in the Nipmuc area. We took the guided tour down into the caves and discovered some rare flora and fauna. The caves were formed millions of years ago and are rich in Indigenous culture and modern European history. Cutter Cave is the only cave open to the public for tours. It extends 750 metres with only about a third accessible to the public.
So today we are in the Nipmuc National Park, hiking a small hike in the middle of the day called Edith Falls, and we appear to have taken a wrong turn. Taylor's leading me to my death, doing a bit of a loop walk. It's pretty warm today, probably mid 30s already, hiking up a bit of a sort of a gorgy area, and there's a couple of different swimming pools that you're actually allowed to swim in, which is rare for the Northern Territory. They've obviously got park rangers that manage the area and make sure nothing is going to come and grab you. So we stayed last night at Catherine Gorge campsite, which, as the crow flies, isn't actually that far from where we are right now. We made a little bit of a mistake last night. On our way to Catherine, Taylor was looking at available places to camp. A lot of the Northern Territories in the national parks, you can get really cheap camping. It's like $6.50 an adult, which is like no other national park in Australia that I've been at. I think it's just to encourage people to camp and to come and make it a little bit cheaper. Unfortunately, we thought that was the go for most campsites. So when we rolled up at a very commercialised Catherine Gorge campsite, we were a little bit late in the day. We're greeted with a $24 per person per night charge, which I understand they're going to try and make a bit of money and stuff, but it's not the sorts of places that we like to stay. We won't be rushing back, let's put it that way. But hey, that's part of travelling, and you learn from your mistakes. Well, that's actually a long way down. Watch her face when she finds out how cold it is. Cold? Had ourselves a refreshing little swim at the top pool at Edith Falls. It was very slippery getting in and out. Some of us made slightly less graceful entries than others. but the water was beautiful and fresh, just perfect just to cool you off after not even that far of a walk, to be honest. But in this heat, it's then you get a bit of a sweat on. Quite busy. We managed to find ourselves a little bit of a part of the pool that no one else was in, and it's safe to say that the pool noodle industry in Australia is going strong. We've decided that we're going to keep moving and head to a place called Umbrawara Gorge. There is a campsite there. Hopefully it doesn't cost us $24 per person per night, but it's the risk we're going to have to take. I don't know exactly how far up the road it is, but it's probably another hour or so. Yeah, go and have a look. Another swimming hole and another gorge, which the Northern Territories is proving to be quite good for. The only problem is it's because of the crocs. They try and get everybody to swim in the same spot, which can make it a little bit overcrowded, I suppose. Hello again. So this morning, pretty early, we left our campsite last night, which was Umbrawara Gorge, and headed again a little closer to Darwin, just taking it steady, sort of 100, 200 k's a day or something, with the idea of reaching Douglas Hot Springs, which is just the other side of Adelaide River. We got to the turnoff and the sign said that all the tracks were closed. Just decided on the fly to push it through to Litchfield National Park. We're just at Florence Falls, or on the way to Florence Falls. We just set up camp again in one of these awesome national park campgrounds that they have here in the NT. So in true national park fashion, we've gotten to the place of immense natural beauty. I think we're joined with half of the rest of the people visiting the Northern Territory at the minute, which is to be expected. We've come in the prime time season, but we try and avoid places like that as much as possible. Sort of just takes away from the natural sort of aura of where you're visiting sometimes. They got the same idea as us, so we just got there after them. Anyway, we've gone along a bit of a creek walk. Going to do sort of like a 2k lap around the falls, and then hopefully in about an hour or so, the numbers might have thinned out a little bit.
Day 2 we set off mid-morning and drove to the magnetic termite mounds. These termites are pretty amazing. There are some good little architects out there. Then began the drive to discover nearly every waterfall in the park. This is one of my favourite parts of the NT. had an awesome swim at the falls. It was then time to go back to the car and head back to camp, but we had a few more stops left.
Have a look at this joint here. Far out. So this is the Blythe homestead in Litchfield National Park, and it's just like, it's on the map, but it's almost like a little bit of a sidetrack to one of the swimming holes. It is mint. Imagine being out here in the 20s, or I think it was built in the 20s sometime, and they stopped using it in the 60s, but it is awesome. It's got all the old tools and stuff, and you can go inside and have a look around.
Blythe Homestead was built by the Sargent family in 1929. Father Harry Sargent and his teenage children all had a hand in building the homestead. The Sargents also built and operated a tin mine not far from the homestead. We read about the stories from the hard times, the trials, tragedies, and the harsh living conditions pioneers faced living in such a remote area. After we had a look around the homestead, we hiked to the top of a nearby hill. It was where Harry and his children had built and operated the old tin mine.
We made it to at least the top of the hill. A bit puffed out, and we weren't even carrying any tin. So, just leaving Blythe Homestead, and we're going to come to a water crossing, which is actually deeper than the water crossing to get to the main track. So, here goes nothing. Here, taking a all-wheel drive Outlander that does not belong to him through a metre-high creek crossing. Last of the creek crossings. Still got another probably about a kilometre to go on this off-road track, but the hardest part of that's been done. Heading back to camp. We're staying at Florence Falls. We're going to head back there, have something to eat, and then tomorrow morning hopefully get on the road, head out of the park the other way. We came in via Bachelor. We're going to head out via Berry Springs, go and see all the sights there are to see along that stretch.
Our first stop was not far from camp, a lovely quiet swimming hole called Bewley Rock Hole. We then drove to Wangi Falls. We couldn't swim here as the rangers had spotted a croc a week or two prior. They closed the swimming areas for 6 weeks when a croc was sighted. We took in the amazing waterfall, then ended up at the Cascades. We completed the loop walk, hiking to the upper Cascades first, and then making our way down to the lower Cascades along the water's edge. After a refreshing swim at Curtain Falls, we made our way back to the car. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please like and share. It does all go a long way. We'll see you in the next episode.